The 2019 Nitto Performance Engineering GTR Festival celebrated not only 50 years of GTR, but 30 years of the R32 GTR. With such significant milestones, we knew we not only needed a Group A R32 GTR at the event, but the living legend who helped pilot them to so many victories, including Bathurst in 1991 and 1992, Jim Richards. Thanks to event partner Shannons Insurance, Gentleman Jim spent the day at the event meeting fans, signing autographs and checking out some GTRs, including giving out a Jim Richards choice at the event. We had the opportunity to catch up with Jim and have a candid chat about his experiences and memories of the R32 Skyline GTR.
"30 years of GTR is incredible. I mean, I can still remember what they drove like and everything, and to be at an event like this where there's the cars that actually raced in the day and such a great turnout of GTRs and such passionate guys and ladies, it's just been brilliant. Well, the moment I see a Group A car now, especially a GTR, I can think of many good times because we won a fair few races in them. So, no, I love the GTRs. I had one as a road car actually, and I sold it. It was a silly thing to do. Well, the first time I drove the road car in anger, you might say, was at Sandown Raceway on a Nissan promotional day. And it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And Scafie and I drove the same car at Winton in the pouring rain. And I shouldn't say it, but Scafie had a little bit of a misdemeanour and put it into the tyres. As a road car, they were the best thing that ever came out because they had all-wheel drive, all-wheel steer, and you just couldn't make them wheel spin, basically, and that's why they were so good as a race car, because in the wet, they were impossible to beat because they had so much grip coming out of corners. But they were awkward to drive a lot of the time, but enjoyable because they usually won. Well, I think the emotions by the team bosses that knew that it was coming, obviously didn't really know what it was all about, but they knew it was a four-wheel drive Nissan twin-turbo engine. And I think that they quietly thought, geez, this will be pretty hard to beat. And as it turned out, obviously, it was very, very hard to beat. No, it was very hard to when we built the Australian version of the GTR. The first one that we built was with all Japanese components. And really, for our racing over here, they weren't really quite strong enough. And we had a few breakages because of the power of the engine and the amount of grip that it had. So basically everything was re-engineered to an Australian standard, you might say, and they just got better and better as time went on, and got better pretty quickly. No, the technology definitely made it easier to get them right. Like we had a switch inside the car that we could change the drive between the front and rear axles, and we had 3 or 4 different modes, so we could actually, if it was raining, we could go into full four-wheel drive, and as it dried out a little bit, we could transfer more drive to the back, or more at the front, whatever, and that made it handy. But also the unique thing about it was that we had a mode on the gearbox and diff that the car thought it was a rear-wheel drive car for about a second and a half, so that you could get off the line. So when you drop the clutch, the back wheels would start to spin, you start to move forward, then the front would come in and away you go. But then you had to make sure you click that switch back onto four-wheel drive before you got to the first corner. Favourite track to drive the GTR, I'd have to say Bathurst, because all its uniqueness and its performance came out on the longer and bigger the track. And it was, great to drive at Bathurst. That was the track that was made for, I reckon. Well, I think probably the favourite moment would be when we won the Touring Car Championship in '91, and then went on to win Bathurst again and again the following year. So the minute you think of GTR, you think of winning. No, the pack of arseholes comment was a spur-of-the-moment thing. But it was deserved for some of the people down below. But no, I never got any really bad press about it. It was a time in those days where you weren't fined by cams or anything, So yeah, would I do it again? I suppose I would, but not in these days. Well, the year after the race that we won, I called them a pack of arseholes. There was 100 T-shirts were made by the guys on top of the hill. They all came down and got me to sign the T-shirts, and I said, I'm an arsehole, Jim told me. Well, it may not have been the total thing that actually killed the Group A in the day, but I think as soon as they seen it go and they seen it virtually won nearly every race it went in. To be honest, it was probably the best thing they did, but after all the years Nissan had been involved in motorsport, it was their time to shine, you know. So that was taken away a little bit, you know, which is a shame. The GTRs didn't have it. We had a solid bar, rose jointed bar on the back of it, obviously in place of the HICAS. So we didn't run it in the GTRs. But as a road car, it was fantastic. And I ran a GTR at Targetazzi, and I didn't disconnect it. Well, listen, I think the reason that the race car or the GTR didn't have the HICAS is that there was too many other things at the time to get right. So we didn't need that as well, you know what I mean? So I think it was easy just to take it out and just run a normal rear end, and we never got around to putting it back on again. Well, I think the GTR fans now, and obviously we had some before GTRs came, but obviously the car was an incredible car in the day, and people appreciated that, and they could buy one on the road very similar to the one that raced. So the GTR guys now are very, very nice guys, you know. There's none of those arseholes around. Well, I haven't really been to a GTR festival or event before, to be honest, except when I was driving for the factory. It's amazing how much power that they can get out of these cars now, and with the electronics and everything, it's just brilliant. But the one thing I didn't know is I didn't realise they made a GTR convertible. I haven't seen one of those before.
I've heard he's got a good number plate too.
He has. I mean, a lot of people have come up for photos and for a signing of the model cars, which is, you know, you get that occasionally, but there's more so in the GTR because it's, you know, such a unique vehicle. And no, I really appreciate it. I mean, I had great success in the GTRs and the Nissan product, and you know, never forget the times. But as years go by, the next project you've got is what you concentrate on, you know. But never forget the GTRs, no way.